When people talk about the Holocaust, they talk about the tragedy and horror of 6 million Jewish lives being lost to the Nazi war machine. But they never mention the thousands of gypsies that were killed by the Nazis. No one ever wants to talk about that because no one ever wants to talk about the positives.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. It is Tuesday. It is darts day for me, so I'll be probably sending some regrettable tweets later. We'll have to see. But bad news for Netflix. Not only are people looking for them to be legally accountable for jokes on their platform, but it's presented now in a new article that they have to make drastic changes to the company, including selling itself. Let's start with the Jimmy Carr controversy. Comedian Jimmy Carr told a joke people didn't like, and now people want new laws in place that would actually hold Netflix accountable. The Culture Secretary, Nadine Dorries, has suggested new laws would hold to account streaming sites for airing jokes that as those made by Jimmy Carr about the Gypsy, Roma, and Traveler community and the Big H. Anti-hate groups, including a bunch of whatevers, are all upset about a joke. Carr issued a trigger warning to his audience at the beginning of his 1-hour special, his dark material, admitting his performance contained, quote, terrible things. In a widely shared clip from the show, Carr joked about the horror of the Big H. Speaking on BBC Breakfast Saturday, the Culture Secretary said the comments were abhorrent and they shouldn't have been on television. She said, "We're looking at legislation via the media bill, which would bring into scope those comments from other video-on-demand streaming outlets like Netflix." It was put to her that a tweet in 2017 had claimed that left-wing snowflakes are already ending comedy. She said, well, that's not comedy. Isn't that funny how, whenever people get offended, suddenly it's not a joke. It's a joke when they think it's funny or when their political, opponent is on the receiving end, but suddenly it's an abhorrent thing that's totally not a joke. Now, look, I don't think that I will be making many jokes about the Big H, or what happened here in the United States in New York and things like that. But I don't think those jokes should be illegal. I don't think that those jokes shouldn't exist. They're just not jokes I would make, which is like what a normal person would react to. I'm not even saying like I'd probably laugh at them too. They're just not something that I would say myself, but I wouldn't want any other person being barred from making those jokes. I mean, my friend Marcus, Count Dankula, almost went to jail over a joke. I mean, this is the way things are in the UK. She said, well, that's not comedy. What Jimmy Carr did last night is not comedy. And as you know, I'm no angel on Twitter. Nobody is. But I would like to say I've never put anything on Twitter that's been harmful. Last night, Jimmy Carr's comments that no one can call that, snowflake or wokishness. That was just appalling. I mean, what's interesting to me is that they're looking at actually litigating against this kind of stuff. And, Jimmy Carr, I know of him. I don't, I'm not super familiar with his work, but what I am familiar with is, the First Amendment in the United States, which obviously doesn't apply directly to, in its literal sense to entertainment and social media and things like that, even though a lot of people wish it would, including myself at times. But this is not good news for Netflix, which is also facing a huge 5-day slide over the last 5 days, although it's crawling back, it looks like a little bit today. But now in this new article, struggling Netflix needs to consider drastic options, including selling itself. Yikes. According to this new report from CNBC, Netflix must consider drastic changes to its business strategy, in order to get back on track, according to Needham's Laura Martin. Shares of the streaming platform are down more than 31% this year, which was intensified by a weaker than expected quarterly earnings report last year that showed slowing subscriber growth. Netflix cannot win the streaming wars given its current strategy, we believe, Martin said in a note on Monday. She went so far as to even suggest that Netflix should sell itself to survive in today's streaming climate. She specifically noted that Netflix's pricing is an issue, particularly when compared to services like NBC's Peacock that offers options at $5 a month ad-based tier that appeals to lower-income houses. We believe Netflix's pricing strategy represents a competitive disadvantage because it offers a single pricing tier whereby every consumer has access to identical content. By contrast, nearly every streaming competitor offers consumer lower price tiers. At this time, Netflix has not issued a statement on its recent struggles. Disney, however, has committed over $8 billion to streaming content throughout 2022. This on top of continued price increases. We're just a few weeks removed from yet another price increase. Every year, the cost of streaming gets more and more expensive, and just last week, prices went up again. Netflix announced that all of its tiers will get an immediate price hike for new subscribers, boosting its most expensive plan to $20 a month, its third price increase since 2019. At $15.50 a month, Netflix's standard tier is now slightly outprices HBO Max at $15 a month, and the Disney bundle, which includes ESPN Plus and Hulu, for just $14 a month, making it one of the most expensive on-demand streaming options among leading services. If you want 4K, it gets even more expensive. That's not an insignificant amount of money, considering people tend to have around 4 paid streaming subscriptions, according to recent data. While the price hikes sting for consumers, it's safe to expect they'll continue, especially for Netflix. Growth opportunities have stalled. The company's spending on content continues to grow. To keep up, Netflix either has to increase the number of subscribers paying for its service or ask existing customers for more money. And right now, Netflix knows it can. Here's the thing. A lot of people, this is one thing I try to tell my family members when they talk about Netflix and they talk about, the price and things like that. Sign up for 1 month, watch everything you want, and get off. There's really no point. Most people have Netflix. If you absolutely must consume Netflix content, then you should probably just binge it in 1 month for $20 and get off, rather than giving them $20 a month for the other 8 or 9 or 10 months when you don't even open the app. When I finally realized that, it was like, ask yourself this question right now. When's the last time you opened Netflix? When's the last time you opened Hulu? When's the last time you opened Disney Plus? And then think about how much money you've wasted in that time. One of the biggest reasons Netflix needs money is to pay for its new shows and services. Streaming services are spending, frankly, outrageous chunks of change on original programming, with global spend to exceed $230 billion in 2022. By dumping truckloads of money in original programming, streamers hope to not only hang on to existing customers, but lure in new subscribers as well. For Netflix, expanding its programming across genres and categories helps it to be everything to everyone, except every month, another favorite program seemingly gets ripped from their services. The more that they can serve all the different aspects of different households, whether that's language specifically, its market and lifestyle specifically, the better, Eric said. This allows Netflix to justify posting itself as a core must-have entertainment service, and if its 200 plus million paid subscribers are any indication, the strategy is working. Well, certainly, if we look at the growth, it's much, much weaker in late 2021. There's another reason Netflix has turned to price increases for more money. Even with its hundreds of millions of active subscribers, Netflix growth has begun plateauing. The company continues to add subscribers, but the number of quarterly additions has dipped in recent years, in some cases even falling below forecasted numbers. Netflix's content, meanwhile, only continues to grow, with the company spending billions on programming every year, and with major competitors like Disney Plus and HBO Max entering the market, they're only likely to keep on spending so Netflix can remain competitive. Here's the issue, though. The content that Netflix puts out is garbage. I mean, outside of like Stranger Things, which I haven't watched like the most recent season because it got a little played out. Got a little sick of the, aesthetic. But I mean, they had Squid Game, which was a worldwide phenomenon. They got lucky, very, very lucky with that. Without taking a highly maligned step of increasing prices, simply kicking all of our execs or parents' plans, without taking the highly maligned step of simply kicking all of us off our exes or parents' plans, which stopping to allow account sharing, Netflix boss Reed Hastings has described sharing accounts as something you have to learn to live with. Netflix has figured out a way to counterbalance its debts. The money has to come from somewhere. The company can only pay off its debt to get to truly profitable with hard cash. The thing is, when you look at, all of the brand loyalty that they think that they've obtained or that they think they've earned, it's evaporating. And you have a company that is just garbage. And people are spending $20 a month on it. Remember when we all switched off cable to these streaming services because it saved us so much money? Those days are gone. And now we're talking about Netflix actually selling itself in order to continue to compete as more and more companies take their content away. I don't know. I don't think the future is very bright for Netflix, to be totally honest with you, but I'll be interested in hearing your comments in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.